Hello everyone, so welcome to my playlist on vector calculus. So in this playlist we will see the calculus behind the vector valued functions. That means if you have a vector valued function, then what is the notion of derivative, partial derivative, integration. Okay, so that's what we are going to see in this playlist. In the previous playlist on multiple integration, we have seen these notions of derivative, partial derivative, integration, single, double, triple integration, but all those were for the real valued function. This is for the vector valued function. Okay, so that's one thing. Second thing, we are going to see what in this lecture especially we are going to talk about vector fields. Okay, so we will see how to sketch them, and then we will see how software also help us to sketch the vector fields. And in the next lecture I will talk about parameterization of a curve, one of the very important topic if you want to understand line integrals, integration of vector valued function. So for that parameterization of a curve, link is there in the description, you can have a look. Okay, so I have already told you what is vector calculus or what you study in vector calculus. Okay, so now suppose if you have a function, say from m dimensional space to n dimensional space. Okay, now suppose when your n is 1, then we say that your f is a scalar valued function. Scalar, that means what? Whenever your output is a number, then such a functions are called as a scalar valued function. Or since here the output is a real number, sometimes people also say f is a real valued function. When you have a complex number as an output, we say f is a complex valued function. When you have integer as an output, we say f is an integer valued function. Okay, so in general we say scalar valued function. Like if I take some examples like t, say r2 to say r. Okay, so t at any x comma y is suppose x square plus 1, x square plus y square. So what t is giving? T is giving me the temperature. So let me take x plus y, xy is going to x plus y. So this t is sometimes called as a temperature function. Whenever people write t, that means they want to insist that this is a temperature function. That means what? You take any point over here, output is nothing but the temperature. For example, at 0 0, what is the output of 0 0? It is 0. So temperature at this point is 0 degree. If you take say 1 comma 1, what is the output of 1 comma 1? It is nothing but 2. So temperature at this point is 2 degree. Minus 1 comma minus 1 comma 1, here the temperature is 0. Minus 1 comma minus 1, here the temperature is minus 2. So since at each point we are getting the temperature, this is called as a temperature function, or also called as a temperature field. Okay, so this is one example of a scalar valued function. Okay, another example, if I want to take, suppose if I take p from r3 to r, this is called as a pressure field because p is my pressure function. So p take any x y z and output is what? Output is a number p of x y z. So at any point p gives me the pressure at that point. So this is x, this is y, and this is z, and this is my function p. So suppose your function is say x plus say y plus z. So at 0 0 pressure is 0 units. At 1 comma 1 comma 1 pressure is 3 units. Okay, so this is called as a pressure field or the pressure function. So all this pressure function, temperature function, or in general whenever the output is a number, we call such a function to be a scalar valued function. Now let's go for a vector valued function. Now what is a vector valued function? So suppose if I take an example, say r2 to r2, right? So suppose your x comma y is say going to say x square y comma x plus y. So as you can see, your output is a vector, something comma something. So therefore this f is a vector valued function. Okay, or suppose if I want to say f is from r2 to r3. So suppose your x comma y is going to say xy comma x comma yx, x plus y plus x. So this is a function from r2 to r3. So this is again a vector valued function. Okay, or suppose r3 to r3. So you can state plenty of examples. So let me take this as a final one. Say x plus y plus z. Here you have xyz, and here you have sine of x square y. So this is another example of a vector valued function. Okay, so either they will give you explicitly what is the function, or sometimes they will say your f For this they will write f equal to f1 f2, means output of f is in two dimensional space because something comma something. So here my f1 is this and this is my f2. Now for this case your f will be what? f1 comma f2 comma f3. What is f1? This is the first component xy, f2 is the second component, f3 is the third component. Sometimes instead of f they also use the notation v. So like for example, v is a function from r3 to r3. Okay, and since output is in three dimensional space, this will be my v1, this will be your v2, and this will be your v3. So therefore your v is nothing but v1, v2, v3. So this is another way of writing a vector function notation. Okay, so this means your output is a three-dimensional vector, output is a three-dimensional vector, output is a two-dimensional vector. Okay, so that was about vector valued function. Now what do you mean by vector field? So vector field is also a function, and what does vector field do? So let me denote capital F. So f is a function. Now when I will call this a function to be a vector field. So if f takes any point in the domain and output it gives you some vector associated to that point. Okay, so vector field is a function which takes a point from a domain and it assigns a vector at that point. So that's the job of a vector field. It takes a point, it gives you a vector at that point. Okay, question is how to sketch. Now before that, we know that since our f, suppose in this case if you have from R2 to R2, then I know that the graph of f lies where? It is in R4, but you cannot imagine that, right? So what do we do is we plot in one figure only. In one figure only we plot the vector fields. Okay, and how do we do that? Let's see that. But before that, let's see some of the examples of vector fields that you have already seen. So like this is one example. Like this, you can see the arrows over here. Like whenever you open any news channel, or you must have seen in your geography lessons, you must have seen this kind of diagrams. So like for example, this arrow represents the flow of the wind. So here the wind is flowing from this direction to this direction. Here you can see there are kind of a cyclone over here. Here also the winds are going in round. So from here the winds are flowing in this direction. So this flow of winds, whenever you want to represent the flow of winds, like in weather reports or in a geography session, you draw these kinds of arrows, and these arrows are nothing but in general they are called as vector fields. Now this is another example. Now in this you can see the red and the blue color arrows, right? Like so for example, these are the ocean currents. So these are the warm, and you can say these are the cold one. So this also diagram you must have seen in various of the weather reports. So these arrows are nothing again but the vector fields. Another example you can take, this is a sphere. Like these are nothing but the normal vectors to the sphere. This outside are the outward normal vector. How to sketch a normal vector? You do that with the help of the gradients, right? So like you have a tangent plane, and the vector which is perpendicular to the tangent plane is called as a normal vector. These are nothing but, these vectors are nothing but the gradient vectors on the surface of the sphere. Okay, now let's see how to sketch the vector fields. So now the question is how to plot them. So let's take a simple example. So suppose f is a function from R2 to R2, and suppose your x comma y is going to 1 comma 1. So this is a constant function. Everything is going to 1 comma 1. Now how do we plot it? Okay, so suppose if this is my xy plane, x and y. Okay, now suppose you take 0 0. What is the output of 0 0? It is 1 comma 1. So how do you plot a vector? Okay, so now I know that if this is my 1 and this is my 1, my vector is this 1 comma 1, because that's what the direction is. Now what is the output of say 2 comma 3? So 2 comma 3 is over here. This is the point. What f will do? It will give me the vector associated to this point. So how do you draw? I know that the output of 2 comma 3 is also 1 comma 1. So what you do is you now treat this as origin. You treat this as origin. So where will be 1 comma 1? 1 comma 1 will be in that direction. So this is the vector to the point 2 comma 3. Suppose if you take another point, suppose if you want to take here, suppose if you take minus 2 minus 1, so this point is what? Minus 2 comma minus 1. What is output of minus 2 comma minus 1? It is also 1 comma 1. So how will you plot? You treat this as origin, And where is 1 comma 1? In this direction you have 1 comma 1. So like since this is a constant function, you take any point, it will be in the direction of 1 comma 1 because the function is the constant function 1. So that's how you plot the vector fields. We will also see this using a software. So everything is going in one direction, like the wind is flowing in one direction. Okay, so for constant functions, you will have all the vectors in a unique direction, in only one direction for the constant function. If it is -1 comma -1, it will be in the downward direction. If this is 1 comma -1 comma 1, it will be in this direction. So whenever you have a constant function, vector fields will always be in one direction. Okay, now let's go for the second example. Now let's take a different kind of example. Suppose your f of xy, it goes to say x comma y, the identity function. So what, this is one way of writing. Okay, another way is sometimes people also write x times I plus y times j. So that's also one notation. For the previous one, it was x comma y was going to 1 comma 1. So sometimes people also write I plus j, like 1 times I plus 1 times j. Okay, now here you have an identity function. So now question is, what is image of 0 0? 0 0 goes to 0 0 only. So 0 0, there is no vector to 0 comma 0. Suppose if you take say 1 comma 1. So this is my 1 and this is my 1. Where does 1 comma 1 go? You treat this as origin. Then where is 1 comma 1? In this direction, right? That's where your 1 comma 1 is. You can erase this. Okay. Now where is another point? Say if you take say 2 comma 3. So where does 2 comma 3 goes? It's again an identity function. So 2 comma 3 goes like this. After this you can erase this. I am just drawing this as a frame for your reference. Okay. Where does this point goes? -1 comma 0 goes to -1 comma 0. So if you treat this origin, -1 comma 0 is here, right? Similarly, if you take this 0 comma 1, 0 comma 1 means the y-axis. So it is like this. So images of points on y-axis will have the vector there only. So if I take 0 comma -1, it will go towards 0 comma -1. So this will go up, this will go down. If you take any point on x-axis, 1 comma 0 goes to 1 comma 0. So in the direction of 1 comma 0. This over here like this. And here you have the vectors like this. Here you are going on that side. Now here if you take this point, say 1 comma -1. Where does 1 comma -1 goes? You treat this as origin. So 1 comma -1 goes here. So here you will observe the vectors will go away. Here also they are going away. And here if you take this point, -1 comma 1. So you treat this as origin. -1 comma 1 is over here, right? So therefore the vector field at this point is this. So here the vector fields will go in this directions. Here the vector fields will go in this directions. So this is how you plot the vector fields. So always plot the vector fields on the coordinate axis and in the quadrants, first, second, third, fourth. And once you draw now, you can see the pattern. Like here you can see the nice pattern once you draw more and more vectors. Here they are spreading it out. Okay, so that's how you plot the vector fields. Now let's see some of the examples using the software. So there are plenty of calculators available to plot the vector field. So when you go to Google, simply type vector field calculator. There is a calculus on Desmos is one calculator. GeoGebra, which I usually use. Wolfram Alpha is another calculator. So there is a SageMath calculator. So there are plenty of calculators available. Let's go to GeoGebra, since I have told you many things using GeoGebra. So like this author has already created this page for us, so thanks to him. So here you can, let me maximize this. So like see, this was a vector field for which this is how the vectors have been drawn. Like here you can see they are going from first quadrant to second quadrant. Here they are going from fourth to third quadrant. Suppose if you want to take the constant function which we took at the start when we are trying to understand the thing on whiteboard, and as you can see, this is what we had. Everything was going in one direction. So here if you increase, then you get more and more vectors. So if you want some more and more clarity, you can just play with this. play with the page, you get the answer. I mean, you can feel the things. So as you can see, all the vectors are going in the direction 1 comma 1, and that's what we saw on the whiteboard as well. Okay, so this was the case for 1 comma 1. The next thing which we took was x comma y. So when you take x comma y, so what was the thing? Everything was going outside, right? So like if you observe, let me decrease this. So here you can see, like the vectors on y-axis were positive, y-axis were going upwards, vectors on negative y-axis were going downwards. Same for x-axis. First quadrants were going their opposite side, fourth quadrant, third quadrant, and second quadrant. So this is what we saw on whiteboard as well. So now like this, you can just keep on playing with this. You get different vector fields over here. So now here you can see they are going like this over here. From here they are converging towards x-axis. Here also they are converging towards x-axis. Here also they are converging towards x-axis. Like that you can think over it. Similarly, suppose if I want to remove minus y and I want to put this minus x over here, same thing. Like so, you simply play with this, and you will have different ideas. Let me take y comma x. What does y comma x gives us? Okay, so this is what the vector field. So here they are going from here to here. Here they are going from second to third, from second to first. Like you can see around at y equal to x line, since this is y and x, you can say at y equal to x line they are just changing the behavior. From here they are going to here, from here they are going here. At along y equal to x line they are changing. So along this they are going from here, along here they are going to the first quadrant. So like this you must play with this and you get different. Here you have the circular ones. You can see they are in circular thing, cyclone. So whenever some meteorological people want to show you the cyclone ka arrows in the software, they simply put minus y comma x and you can see, oh, there is a cyclone over there. So like this you can use this software to verify whether the vector fields that you have drawn is correct or not. So I hope you understood the notion of vector fields. If yes, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.